There's nothing going on in Final Fantasy XIV right now. We're in between expansions. There's no special event. There's no huge thing. We're months away from our next expansion, and yet this feels like expansion week. Imagine having an MMO so popular that you sell out of digital copies. That's exactly what's going on with Final Fantasy XIV recently. You guys have seen my YouTube videos. You've watched content all over the internet. The game is so popular, it's kind of funny to say this, that they ran out of digital copies. Now, immediately my mind went to this, and you guys probably did the same thing. You guys are probably like, how you run out of digital copies? How? Now, in the past when it happened with like Steam games and stuff like that, it was because, you know, they ran out of allocated keys or something like that. In this case, after reading this article, because I wasn't even sure until just recently when I read this article, according to the article, it was a temporary thing, and it is a temporary thing that they seem to have tied to their server creation, their server and character creation. Because if you play Final Fantasy XIV, you know that during certain times of the day, the servers get full and they don't allow you to create new characters. Well, check out what happened last night. Look at this. This is a screenshot from last night. You see these little red X's next to all these servers on these data centers? That means that you could not create a character anywhere. All the North American servers were full. You could not create a character. And it looks like what Square did is that instead of continuing to sell the game, is that they put this notice up that they're out of copies, but you can get on a wait list if you want. So it really looks like, and I think it's kind of a smart idea, is that what they're doing is that they're tying the game sales to the server congestion. It boggles the mind. There's nothing going on in Final Fantasy XIV right now. We're in between expansions. There's no special event. There's no huge thing. They have this this thing where you can come back if you're I think it's like a welcome back campaign. If you've paid for the game before, you can come back for 14 days. That's the only thing that's going on. We're months away from our next expansion, and yet this feels like expansion week. So I guess this is where my mind is going. Can you imagine what's going to happen when Endwalker drops in November? Canst thou imagine the amount of... Listen, I'm a little bit afraid because, you know, Shadowbringers was a relatively smooth launch. Stormblood, you know, was like bumpy. You know, we had Raban Savage and Pippin Savage and stuff like that. It was a little bumpy. But can you imagine? I really hope that they're ordering servers today. I hope they're on Amazon.com/buy-me-a-server and they're buying 50 servers, man, because there is nothing. Relatively, there's nothing going on, and it's just pure hype. Pure hype from the player base, because we're like, have you heard of, you know, the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy XIV, which includes a free trial up to level 60 and includes the award-winning Heavensward expansion. Download today. You know, that's our speech. That's one thing, right? But it's hard for me to think that that's the main reason. Another big injection is that there's a lot of World of Warcraft creators creating content about Final Fantasy XIV. So they're expanding the audience of people who would never consider Final Fantasy XIV are now downloading trials, and they're creating characters, they're creating accounts, and they're taking up slots in these servers that normally are not full. And then you got people like, you know, I was going to say, you got Asmongold, the biggest streamer on Twitch. The guy pulls in 100,000 viewers on a good day. I mean, on a normal day of him playing Final Fantasy XIV practically every day. It's a massive marketing success driven solely by people, by the community, by content creators. It's the only thing Square really has done. You know, they recently launched a benchmark because they're coming off the heels of the Producers Live Letter, which is like a podcasty type thing that they put out. The benchmark for Endwalker came out. That drove a lot of hype. Also, they launched their Endwalker official launch site, so it has all the media and stuff to get you hyped for Endwalker coming in November. But other than that, they've got a Twitch collaboration going on. You guys may have heard of it with the gifted subs, where if you give 4 subs to a list of streamers, you get the Fat Black Chocobo mount. Yes, it's called Fat Black Chocobo mount. The Fat Black Chocobo mount. That, to me, that's minimal marketing. And they are seeing 100-time turnover. It's just I mean, the director of marketing can go on vacation. Listen, everybody is Square. They can just, they don't have to do anything. We're doing it all for them. And by we, I mean the people playing the game, the people marketing the game. And there's nothing going on. People are just playing the game. As I stated in other videos, this is temporary. This is all temporary. I don't expect it to last. And so you can expect these numbers to drop. They're going to drop. But I'm going to tell you what's not going to drop. What's going to skyrocket is Endwalker pre-orders. And you know what else is going to skyrocket? Square Enix's stock. That's why the CEO, and I said this before, that's why the CEO shows up to the producer live letters smiling from ear to ear. What are we going to do today, Yoshi P? Money, 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 money. You know, that's, he was giving them that dollar signs was in his eyes, man. So it's actually kind of amazing that number one, it's kind of amazing that number one, no servers were available to join. I've never seen that. Like even on launch day of expansions, I've never seen all the servers closed. I've seen maybe, you know, all except maybe 1 or 2. You know, I think one time, I think it was even during Shadowbringers, there was a period of time where people were trying to get on my server, Leviathan, and on the Primal data center, there was only 1 server available. That's, and there were other servers on the other data center, and they were preferred servers, so you got double XP. Or you got XP bonus. But I've never seen all of them close. So it could explain why that they ran out of digital downloads. Again, that sounds crazy when you say it out loud. How do you run out of digital downloads? Well, you run out of server slots. That's essentially what happened. An amazing, amazing time for Final Fantasy XIV. I don't think the game's perfect. I have a lot of gripes. I have a lot of concerns for Final Fantasy XIV. But in general, it is my favorite MMO right now. I try to get as many people as I can to try it, and hopefully they get hooked on it. There's so much the game gives, but I did not expect, I don't think anybody expected this. I think we kind of expected it to happen like around the Endwalker time. You know, okay, we're going to have a huge player spike during the expansion. Every MMO that's been around for more than a couple years is going to experience that. You get a new expansion, it's going to be a spike. I don't think I've ever seen a spike happen like this pre-expansion anywhere ever. This is unprecedented. It's actually unprecedented. It's fun to watch. It is very fun to watch. So if you're interested in this topic, check out my other videos I've done. I've talked about how my views on whether Final Fantasy is killing WoW. I've done my feedback stuff on Asmongold's journey. You know, I got some content lined up that I want to give some new players some advice based on my experience and some how-to guides and stuff like that. So stay tuned for more on the YouTube channel. But this is really fun to watch because I love Final Fantasy XIV, and to see it skyrocket like this is beautiful. It's beautiful. Let's hope it gets better from here.